Kept you waiting, huh? Yeah, it's been a while. Oh, what up, and welcome back, Senpai, to Let It Die. And with the recent announcement for a sequel, I figured now would be a better time than any to return back to the most difficult content that this game has to offer, Tengoku. Well, Neo D.O.D to be exact. And in our last video, we managed to reach floor 60, and defeat the forceman that represents that faction, Hellsteel. But, would you believe me if I said it doesn't end there? No. Floor 100 is the final floor here, and so that is what we're aiming for in this video. Also, for every 10 floors, Hellsteel returns with even stronger stats than before, meaning that we have to be more and more prepared each time that we face him. But fear not, my beautiful goblins, for I have a few tricks up my sleeve that will help us in the future. And so, just before we do begin though, here's a quick rundown of our loadout and decals. Alright, so first things first, we are going to talk to our mushroom waifu and look at our decals. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are already familiar with most of these, but in case you're not, I'll go through them anyway. So, Ultimate Fighter's Return, this thing is a no-brainer, it buffs all your stats by 20%, need I say more. This thing is just really good. The only downside, of course, is that it's very rare and it can be very expensive to try and get, so there is that. But once you get it, I mean, this thing is by far one of the best decals in the game. Like, you're gonna need it everywhere. Then we've got Queen of Spades, buffs your attack power, crit hit rate, and gives you 10% chance of taking no damage from an attack. This thing is just really good. I would put it on par with Ultimate Fighter's Return. Obviously this is still better, but this thing ain't far off of it. The only drawback is that you have to wear a matching set of armor, but that's really not too bad. Professional Cosplayer is basically identical, just gives a little bit less attack power overall, and instead of the 10% chance of taking no damage, it gives you 20% defense bonus. And I'll be honest, defense is always welcome. Next is Joker. This is a jack of all trades, buffs you max health, attack power, defense, max stamina, and increases your rage gauge charging by 50%. And that is very helpful because we're going to need rage gauge quite a bit, especially for the boss. Like Hellsteel, I'm going to be using a lot of rage moves for him, and the more the merrier. Next is Below the Belt. That increases chances of a crit hit by 20% and increases crit hit damage by 30%. Yeah, this thing's pretty good as well. And then this just buffs your crit hit damage by another 30%, so adds up to a 60% crit hit damage bonus. That's pretty wild. And with all of these put together, you basically have a guaranteed crit hit chance. It's something like 97%, it's as close as you can get to 100 without going overkill, and I don't really want to swap any of these for a guaranteed 100% crit hit chance, because I would miss out on way too much utility. Now, we get into the two decals that I would use exclusively for Neo D.O.D. We have Local Butcher, and we have Violence Class. I'll explain why. So, this is Chopper plus Happy Wheeler armor bonus. Chopper, obviously the Predator, is the Tengoku variant. That also applies here. And it buffs your chopper damage by an entire 40%. That's pretty wild, considering the highest damage buff decal outside of that would be universal, is the Golden Gym, and that's only 30%. So this is an additional 10% damage on top of a weapon that I'm going to use against Hellsteel anyway, so there's not really any drawback for this. Plus, with a full set, you have a higher chance of enemies dropping Bob meat half portions, which is going to be very helpful when it comes to survivability. Then we have Violence Class, which boosts your attack of blunt weapons and slashing weapons by an additional 40%. And as you know, the Predator, aka the Chopper, is a slashing weapon, so that is an additional 40% damage on top of another 40% on top of everything else that's here. You get the idea, right? It's a lot of damage. And for our weapons and armor, well, you already know what we're going to be using. The Predator, which is the Tengoku variant of the Chopper, and the main reason I use it instead of the Chopper is one, the Chopper is objectively worse in every way, even if it's maxed out. Don't ask me why. So even if I get it to uncap plus 18, yeah, still doesn't do nearly as much damage as a level 1 Predator. I have no clue why, but I'll take it because this thing is, I mean, it's just objectively better anyway because it has a hidden built-in stat, which, yeah, it doesn't even mention. It has built-in lifesteal, so that'll definitely come in handy for survivability as well. Then, of course, we have the Happy Wheeler gear, which is called the Wheel Assassin gear now because it's upgraded. And I'll be honest, it's not the best armor in the game, don't get me wrong, it's okay at best. But it definitely helped me to climb the earlier levels of the game when I was new to the game. And honestly, it's kind of a blessing in disguise that I did upgrade it earlier because, well, I need it now. And I know that there are better options, such as the Suicidal Grinder gear. This is probably the best D.O.D armor in the game, especially because it has no negative pierce resistance compared to everything else. But as long as your gear is upgraded enough, I don't think pierce damage is that concerning. Maybe it is, who knows, I've never made it to floor 100, but I guess we'll find out. But from what I can tell, I don't think it will be too alarming as long as we just play our cards right. We will also be bringing the Static Massager in our other hand with the Predator, because obviously this is only melee, so this will compensate for its lack of range, because, well, on top of that, this thing is just a really good crowd control weapon. It's probably one of the best, because you just zap everything in a cone in front of you, and it will basically die. It's really good, especially in the fighter pits as well. It's probably one of the best backup plan weapons available. Right, so here's the dealio. We're probably going to try and speedrun through this because, realistically, there's not really much point in hanging around. And if the floor is clear, for instance, you don't have to kill all the enemies or, set a mount to go up to the next floor, what's the point, really? We're going to look for mushrooms, obviously, but other than that, we don't need anything else. So, let's go into Neo D.O.D, baby. Now, I would suggest maybe using an attacker up here, using a nail gun, because that's a pretty good option. But of course, my attack is not maxed out, so, yeah. Probably not the best idea to go up here just yet. But the Striker should manage. I mean, at the end of the day, we've got the Predator, we've got the Static Massager. Sure, the Static Massager, I think it only scales, I think it's 30% strength and 70 dexterity. So I don't get the most out of its damage, but I should still get enough. Because at the end of the day, it has loads of ammo, it's great for crowd control, especially in the fighter pits. And as long as I've got the Chop Chop weapon, I should, fingers crossed, be okay against the bosses. So, when I refer to mushrooms, basically, there we go. Oh, well played. Swingaroonie, there we go. There are 3 mushrooms in particular that we're looking for. Technically 4, so 2 damage mushrooms, we got Sting and Crushroom. Oh, that's a nail gun. So yeah, this is the reason why I don't bring Serial Killer, because there are a lot of ranged weapons up here. And there's a Kamas, of course. Come on, swing, swing, and swing, and dead. Lovely. Excuse me, you little lizard. I have no reason to kill you, but I'm going to do it out of spite. Like, what was that for? What did I do to deserve that? You little menace. There you are. I'm like, take your sweet ass time, dude. Been waiting forever for you to come down. So yeah, ooh, a red Deathroid as well. That is really nice. Thank you, game. So where's the other dude? Ah, there they are. Can I even sneak attack, or are you going to turn around? Yeah, I kind of figured. Wait, there we go. That's a decoy shroom as well, and that's a Kamas. Oh, for crying out loud. So, do you understand my hatred for these things yet? Do you? Ah, man. They're not the worst thing in the world, don't get me wrong. But this is Neo D.O.D. Not... Ow! Bro died on fire, and now I'm on fire. Are you serious? Bro. This is Neo D.O.D. It's not Neo War Ensemble. It's not Neo, WE. So, obviously Kamas is a War Ensemble weapon, not a D.O.D. weapon. And yet, for some reason, it's still semi-viable up here. At least for the haters. Not so much for the people climbing. And obviously, a lot of people didn't consider that. And so, they went up here with their character, using a Kamas, died, never retrieved their character. Can you see me? Yeah, you can see me. And so, everyone like me and you that still play this game have to deal with them. And yeah, that's another reason as to why I don't use Serial Killer up here. If it wasn't for that, I would. I genuinely would. Or maybe even, as I say, use the attacker with a nail gun. I think that's probably the best option for climbing, especially if you want a speed run. Right. Gotta be careful, gotta look out for mushrooms. I know we do have a decoy shroom, but that is the bare minimum. We still could do with a bit more than just that. Sneak attack. Sneak attack. Chop chop. Nice. So, any mushrooms? Stamina. Man, that is not what I'm looking for though, is it? Another Kamas. Shoot. There we go. So obviously, there are some ways to counter them. Okay, buddy. What was that for? Are you going to do the swing attack? Yes, you are. Chop. Lovely. Yeah, so obviously you can dodge roll, step up on them, hit them, or obviously counter them with a ranged attack as well. But it's not the most guaranteed thing with the static massager because it does have limited range. Now, you can use the alternate fire mode, but I wouldn't really suggest it. And so, yeah, there is that. On top of the fact that if you do want to use the chopper on them, just be careful. Just be careful. Ooh, crush rooms. Nice. Alright, we'll go plenty of those at least. Because if you use the alternate attack, the downward swing, it leaves you vulnerable for a pretty long period of time. Right, what do we got? I don't hear fire, so it's not a fighter pit, which means it has to be a boss. So it's either Max or COEN. Now the question is, how big is the cage? Because COEN's cage is a lot wider. That's Max. Oh no! This is awful, dude. For real? I need to wait for him to swing. Okay, can you stop trying to shoot me? There we go. Counter hit. Oh, chunky damage. Yeah, so that's where the Predator comes into play. Its rage move is insane. And you're probably wondering, why do I attack from behind? Well, there's a very simple reason for that. I believe you deal 20% more damage. So it's a no-brainer. Obviously, I don't know the numbers exactly. Ouch. Yep, that is... Whoa, whoa, wow, whoa, whoa. Easy there, cowboy. Oh, did you... He exhausted himself by doing that. Rip. So yeah, even if you do time it well, there's still a chance that they will recover and hit you. That is just bound to happen. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is, right? Also, I will get... Ooh! Wait for him to turn around. I will get back around to doing more content for Let It Die, it's just that I've been a little bit burnt out recently. And I do have a lot, and I mean a lot, of other games I want to go through. Like, the backlog is huge. Oh, you didn't die from that? Alright, dodge roll, there we go. So yeah, you gotta be a little bit patient there. If you try and do that same attack twice, they will get back up before you can hit them. So, just keep that in mind. This weapon is good, like the Predator is good, don't get me wrong, but it does have quite a few flaws. One, of course, being its speed. Up you go. What? How did... Okay. There we go. I don't know how that missed. Like, what? Oh god. This is the issue that I find with Neo D.O.D. though. You can try and speedrun through it, but the problem is... Oh, brother. That is 2 Kamasses. You can't be serious. Okay, this is going to be tricky to deal with. Get rid of you. Get rid of you. There we go. And then get rid of you. Yeah, there's a lot of choke points. And so sometimes, even on floors where you should just be able to run to the end, it's not always guaranteed. every Forceman pit is unique. This one is Hell Steel's, or White Steel, right? There is a cage. Now, you can throw Mushroom through cage. You can only do it with this one, by the way, because obviously each arena is unique. So, what we're going to do is throw a decoy shroom through here, swap over, just got to be careful, make sure we don't screw this up, there we go, to a crush room, start the boss. Unfortunately we do have to skip the cutscene. It is what it is though. And that gives us a bit of time to eat our shroom. And then we can do that. Obviously, he did counterattack. That is unfortunate. It is what it is, right? Bonk, and dead. And there you go. It is as simple as that. Now, I could have gotten away with playing that a bit safer, if I'm going to be honest. I probably shouldn't have done what I did, because that was very, stupid. But, hey, it still works, right? Hey, I'm working it. It still works. Easy with the nail gun, cowboy. You know what? I will zap you. How does that feel? Huh? You like that? Ow! So you might already notice already, they're getting a little bit tankier. So obviously the further that we climb, and of course camasses are going to become more of an issue as well, we have to be more careful. Which sucks, but it is what it is, right? That is the nature of this game. There we go. Lovely. So, Let It Die Inferno. What are you guys thinking about that? Yay or nay? Because I've not really brought up anything about it until just now, and the game has been on my mind, of course for obvious reasons. I do play this game a lot, I love the series. Well, the series being just this one game, because they killed Deathverse, which, don't get me wrong, I didn't think was that great of a game anyway, but it was still a game regardless. Basically, from what I can tell, it seems to be a extraction game rather than like a dungeon crawler looter. Now obviously, I'm going to go based on assumptions and what the trailer showed, but that is what I can figure out. Now, ouch. I'm surprised that first swing hit me, to be fair. Get zapped, idiot. And I don't know if I'm feeling it. Obviously, I'm going to play the game, I'm going to try it. I'm not against giving it a shot, because, you know, it's not super expensive. Oh, God. Oh, you're just going to... Alright. If you're going to shuriken spam, I am just going to do this. I don't care. Even if it uses more ammo. There we go. Because shurikens are really annoying, especially here, because you've got no choice. Everywhere's a choke point. So yeah, I am looking forward to it. I hope that the game does turn out to be good, of course. But I don't have high expectations, let's put it that way. Because I don't think it's going to be what Let It Die is. It is going to be different in some way, because they do like to experiment. But I hope as long as they maintain the difficulty and the balance, and don't force PvP onto us, because I will be honest, I think that's what killed Deathverse, we should be good. I am more into PvE, Dark Souls-esque kind of gameplay, right? Where people can choose to invade, and you can PvP, but that's not the core premise of the combat. Alright, what we got? We dealing with Max, COEN, or a Fire Pit? Fire Pit. Lovely. So you're probably wondering how I knew that straight away. Reason being, if you can hear like a fire sizzling sound, that always means it's a Fire Pit. There you go. The more you know, right? Well, I should specify a Neo D.O.D. Fire Pit. Not even a Neo D.O.D, just a D.O.D. Fire Pit. I don't know why I said Neo. Of course it's going to be a Neo D.O.D. Fire Pit. And that, ladies and germs, is why I love this weapon. Yeah! Oh yeah, shoutouts to the Pink Apron gang. I forgot to mention, we've got the pink apron drip. Yeah, we're pretty swaggy. Platinum, black, platinum. I'm gonna be honest though, the rewards are kind of poopy. I'll still take these anyway, because I don't know when I'm gonna need them. But was really hoping for more Deathroids, if I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, or at least the purple ones. Heck, even the red ones. But the black? I don't know. Alright, buddy. You over here. Chopperoonie. Okay! That was a juicy combo. I didn't expect that to work out, but it did. I was 100% expecting to get hit there. We'll take it. You know what? I'm going to be honest. I might just fight this guy legit. We're just going to fight him legit. Plus, we can watch the cutscene as well, so... I'm probably going to regret this, but hey, it's all for the viewer's experience, right? You know, I can suffer as much as I like, as long as you guys get a good view. And I mean, goddamn, that is a pretty great view. I do want to get his armor and weapons eventually, because I know his helmet, correct me if I'm wrong, ooh, nice ass. His helmet is the best helmet for defense. Swing, 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 chop. Sweet. Yeah, so that's the poison coming into play. This is the first time you've actually seen him use it. Yeah. Obviously, I don't want to use up all my stamina. Ow! But he really wants to shoot me. You gonna taunt me? Get out of here, bozo! I don't think the floors are gonna get any harder than this. Which, on one end, I'm happy about. But on the other end, I was hoping it would be a little bit more difficult. You know? Dude, the Flame Wand is such a horrible weapon to face, by the way. God, I hate that thing. I've faced it so many times in TDM, it makes me want to cry. That thing, without a doubt, is an armor shredder. If you want a weapon that destroys armor, just get the Flame Wand. Literally, that's all you need. It does an insane amount of burn damage. It's practically unavoidable. Okay. How was I not able to suplex you there? Bruh. Drum roll, please. Big cage, small cage, big cage. Okay, that's COEN. Sweet. This guy is easy peasy. Got a perfect parry. Lovely jubbly. Alright. Bonk, 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 bonk. Chop. Back off. Back off again. Chop. Back off again. If you keep doing that move, you're just gonna die. You know that, right? Chop. What is he doing? My boy, are you okay? Your AI is freaking the hell out. My goodness. Right. Gotta be careful on my stam. Just for a moment. Bonk, bonk, bonk. There we go. That's why I dodge roll away. Because he will sometimes do that swing attack if you're behind him. Bonk into the wall. Play it safe. Bonk into the wall again. Don't greed for a second hit. Donk, 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 donk. Oh, really? That's actually depressing. I missed the first swing. Never mind. We get him. Sweet. Give me that purple Deathroid. Yeah! Okay, so I've got a question for you guys that watch my videos. Do you only watch my content to let it die, or do you enjoy watching, like, you know, my variety stuff? Because obviously, I do want to play other games, and at the same time, it's trying to find that balance of enjoyment, but also making money. Because obviously, that is some form of motivation for making videos. As much as I do enjoy playing these games and commentating and, you know, making entertaining content, at the end of the day, I do need to make money out of this, you know? So I'm just curious, because obviously my Cry of Fear video, I don't know how it got so many views, if I'm going to be honest, because I didn't think anyone even cared about that. But then when I did Tokyo Xtreme, which, don't get me wrong, I'm still going to play it, still going to record it, that's getting nowhere near as much attention. I don't know, maybe it's just the algorithm, or maybe it's just because Tokyo Xtreme is a niche genre. So, I don't know. Because at the end of the day, I do still commentate the same throughout all of these videos. I guess it just comes down to the gameplay, or just the game in general. Or maybe challenges, if I do more challenge videos. Would you guys enjoy that? I'll be honest, I do like the cheese strat, it does work, but I don't think it's foolproof, you know? There are times where it doesn't always work. And so I'm starting to think of a few other strategies which might involve, obviously, when you fight him, also we got very lucky here, we can just run to the end. Obviously, thankfully, there's no timer, like his regular counterpart. So we have all the time in the world that we need to fight him, which means that we could just wait for him to do his taunt. So that's probably the game plan. And don't get me wrong, the decoy shroom is still good. You could probably use it as a good opportunity to just buff yourself initially during the fight. But I think if you want to ensure, like, safely dealing with him, you know, don't take any chances, just wait for him to taunt, then react. Also, Max again. Oh, brother. So yeah, our armor is a little bit alarming, but nothing to worry about just yet, because thankfully we are bonk 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 able to swap it out in a moment. So yeah, I'd say 1 to 2 predators plus maybe 1 to 2 sets of armor should be more than enough here. Alright, this is one of the few developer guys that I am afraid of, because that weapon is dangerous, and this guy is also quite tanky, so there is that as well. What about the zappy weapon? Yeah, that does like nothing. Thankfully though, we can bait out a lot of attacks, so he's not too bad. But we still shouldn't underestimate him. Floor 100, ladies and germs. Alright, it's time to finish this. There we go. Eat. Yum yum yum. Alright, let's go. Swing, 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 swing. Play it safe. Swing, 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 swing. Play it safe. Swing, swing, swing. I appreciate you being aggressive, but at the same time I don't. Ooh. Chop. Nice. Oh, that couldn't have gone any better. Wow. I really thought he would have been scarier than that. But yeah, that was floor 100, Neo D.O.D, finished. We've done it. We actually did it, guys. We have conquered Neo D.O.D.